Hello everyone. I promised I would do a quick video about our life balance wheel in our Create Space planners. So I've actually filled this out, made it all beautiful and in color at home while I was doing Project 14, but I don't have my planner with me. So I'm using one of our samples and I'm going to show you how I would use the life balance wheel and just some different options. So remember, everything that we do, we try and make as flexible as possible, and that is the same for our life balance wheel. By the way, how cute is this combination? I just love the pink and the mint and just changing things up a little bit. So inside our Create Space planners, that is our daily or weekly layout in both the mint and the pink linen, there is a life balance wheel and it looks like this when it's not filled out. I asked earlier if you had any specific questions about the life balance wheel, and one of the questions was, how do I decide how I rate each section? Who is my family? Who are my friends? And what are relationships on there? So we've put this on here to be as flexible as possible, like I said, but for me, when I am rating between 1 and 10 how I feel each area is going in my life, some of them are self-explanatory. So things like my home is what I want to achieve in my house, or how much renovations or maintenance and things like that I feel like I need to do. That is different to routines and systems. So in Project 14 this morning, I shared an example. If I was looking at my routine or system, I would look at laundry, as in how keeping up with the laundry is going. Whereas when I'm looking in my home section, I am talking about how the actual laundry is. Is there any maintenance that needs to be done in the laundry? Am I wanting to renovate anything? How is my space feeling in the laundry? As opposed to in the systems area, how am I going with the routine of keeping up with my laundry? For family, I choose for it to be the four of us, my mum and dad, Tim's parents and family. So I look a little bit further than our immediate family because everyone lives really close together, and I assess how I feel that area of my life is going, and I include them as part of the family. There is no right or wrong. So if you just want it to be your immediate family, you can do that. If you have a really large family, everyone lives close together, you interact with many members of your family, extended family often, you can choose to include them in it. For friends, that is obviously just my immediate friendship circle. And then for relationships, I choose for that to be myself and my husband. If you are single, you can choose for that relationship to be any special relationship to you. It could be a best friend, it could be a really close family member, whether that be a cousin, or it could be a workmate. It's just a relationship that you are wanting to make sure that you invest as much time in as possible. And you can even write, there's plenty of space around the outside here, so you can even write who you are referring to. So for relationships, wherever that's gone, over here, you could actually write the person's name there just to help you as you go around the circle. And for friends, if you have a really close-knit friendship circle, you could pop their names there as you go through that. But it is designed so that you can't do it wrong. You just choose who you want to include in each of the areas. But relationships for me is myself and my husband. Now, the other question I got was about home, routines and systems. So for me, if I was going to be looking at how a home's operating, let's use the laundry as an example. For the home section, I would be looking at the laundry as in how the laundry functions as a space. Is there a lot of maintenance to be done there? Are there renovations that I want to do? Whereas laundry, as in washing the clothes, that would be a system. So how is the system going, or the routine going, of doing a load a day? Completely up to you. So when I think about my home, I'm thinking about how is the home going, how much have I invested into the home, how much have I done in the house, how happy am I with the way our house is looking. Where systems and routines is how happy am I with my morning routine, my evening routine, all the different routines that help each day run. And they can be inside the house or outside the house. Rest is a lot to do with how I'm feeling. So how much rest did I have in 2021? Disclaimer, not a lot. It's an area that I need to work on. And how do I feel that I am going in that area? Now, remember, no one can tell you what rest should look like in your life. So if you are happy to be a person that has full days and full weekends, then that's great. And you might say, I'm happy with the amount of rest I'm having, even though it's not a lot. I feel great, I feel fine, everything's operating well. I don't feel like I need to take a break all the time, so I'm going to rate that area high. Other people may believe that they should be doing, 4 days of work and 3 days of resting. you're going to rate that area given what you believe rest should look like. So it is very personal to you. There is health and self-care. Fun, that's one people struggle with. How much fun do you have in your life right now? So if you said, what do you do for fun? Is there anything you can think of? Or is that an area where you want to spend having a little bit more fun, just making time to do things for no other reason than just to fill your cup and brighten your day? So once you are clear on the spaces, and like I said, you can use the outside to write the different things there, this is just a bit of a reflection activity. So it is not there to make you feel terrible, to make you feel overwhelmed, to make you feel like you need to do more or that you're not enough with where you are right now. It is simply an activity that makes you focus on each of the areas and gets you thinking about how these things are working for you. Because before we can goal set and before we can decide what the next best small step is for us, we need to be really clear on the areas that are working well for us and the areas that maybe aren't working so well. And if you identify that there's an area that isn't working so well, but it's not a priority for you, you can leave it. Just because you don't give yourself a 10, which, by the way, I very rarely give myself anything higher than an 8 or 9, because I always believe there's something little that I could do just to improve different areas. But even if you give yourself a low score, it doesn't mean that you need to change it this year unless it matters to you. So this activity allows you to stop and it allows you to think about the different areas. Now, I don't have colored pens here, so we're gonna have to use our imagination. This is just a boring pen, and I will show you how I go about this. So I would sit and think, and this can take a little bit of time, I might sit and think about, right, in 2021 or today, right now, how do I feel my health is going? And I'm only looking at things I can control. So how do I feel? When I think about health, what am I thinking about? Maybe for me, it's, drinking water, just the basics, drinking water, getting enough sleep, moving each day, those sorts of things. How do I think I'm going? And in 2021, I actually feel like I did all right in this. So I might say, right, I feel like it's a 7 or an 8. Again, don't feel like you can do this wrong. A 5 is kind of like average. A 10 is just like there's literally nothing left to improve. A 1 is you feel like it is not functioning at all. Nothing is going well for you in that area, and you just decide what your number's going to be. So I may decide that for health, I'm sitting at a 7 or 8. So I'm going to follow the line around. There are numbers in one place to help you. I'm going to follow the number 7 around, and I'm going to mark that triangle. And then with my colored pen, I'm going to color in that section that I've drawn over there. So that's for health. And then I'm going to think about the next area. So let's say I'm going to choose finances. And I'm going to sit and reflect, and I don't do this as fast as I'm doing it for this video, but I'm going to think about finances. How do I feel we are going with our finances, with things I have control over? So I might think, right, this year I feel like we really overspent with eating out. I feel like there is quite a bit of improvement that we can make. We're still doing well, but I feel like there's lots of improvement that we can make. I might decide, look, that's a 5 or a 6 for me. So I'm going to draw a line at the 6, remembering I'm doing this very fast. And you can absolutely take your time in this. So then I've done finances there. And then I pick another area. So I'd say family, how's that going? That's going really well. Like, I feel like there's always a little bit of room for improvement, but I feel really fulfilled by the time I'm spending with the family. I feel like we are working really well as a unit. I feel like we have great relationships with our extended family, that being my parents and Tim's parents, and everything is going beautifully. I'm investing the time that I want to invest into family. I'm making time for them. It's an area of my life that I'm super happy with, and I'm going to say that's a 9, and I color that in. Now you get the rest, so there's 10 areas. I've done 3 and I've colored it in. And then once I've finished all of them, I color in up to the triangle that I've done. And when you stop and you take a look at it, you are going to see the areas that you feel you are doing really well in and investing time in. Remember, this is what you can control, not other people. This is just how you feel about what you're doing. Maybe you feel like you're doing a great job. It's not functioning well. The family may not be functioning well, but you feel really happy with the effort and the time and the love you're putting into it. You can still rate it as high as you like, because these are the things you have control over. And then you're going to look at the circle once it's done, and you're going to be able to get a really good idea of how you feel about how things around you are working. And that's going to allow you to then decide, right, this area is much lower than anything else, and perhaps it is home. Perhaps it's home, and you look at it and you're like, you know what, I don't really love the way the home is looking right now. There's so much that I want to get done, so many renovations that need to be done, but right now it's not a priority for me. And you can move on from that. But if you look at an area, let's say you look at self-care. Self-care is really low. You've identified that you haven't really been taking care of yourself this year. You don't feel okay. You feel like you could benefit from a number of things, maybe seeing a professional, maybe spending more time on your own with a journal, those sorts of things. You look at that, you recognize that you've been spending a lot of time on things for other people, but not so much on yourself. Then that is the opportunity for you to see that perhaps as you goal set for 2022, you want to focus on self-care. And then you want to add it into your planner, you want to revisit it as often as possible and check in with yourself and make sure that as the year gets on and emails start coming in, phone calls start coming in, people start demanding time from you, that you don't forget that you have decided that self-care needs to be priority for you, and that alongside everything else you need to do, you also need to be making sure you make time for yourself. Now, as I wrap up this video, a reminder that none of these tasks or anything we include in our planner are there to overwhelm you. So even if you identify that most areas are fairly low right now, use it as an opportunity to be excited that you're going to take the next best step in one area. Start small, get that snowball rolling, and we want to be consistently revisiting these things and reminding ourselves that we can work towards a more full circle, or at least fuller areas that are important to us, if we just take one small step after the other. So do not do the circle and be disheartened. It is there to remind you that you have the power to put changes into place, and this might be the year for you to do it. I hope that helps everyone. If you have any questions, please always email me. My email is hello@leannebaker.com, and I'd be thrilled to help you out.